Om. Om. Do not uphold somebody's image. The truth and wisdom, the truth and wisdom is not in the image. Do not look up to anyone. Do not look down upon anyone. The way you perceive yourself, just perceive others, is very simple. It's natural and it's obvious. If you are perceiving yourself right, if it means if you are doing the right thing, then you would perceive others right. That's how love you would project onto others, because you have love for yourself. But do not make the image of the messenger in your mind, because hold when you form an image based on the words the person speaks, then you give your focus to maintain the kind of image. In the real yogic culture, in our yogic culture, in the real yogic culture, in our yogic culture, image or image, however you want to pronounce it, is among one of the most first things. I hope you are understanding. Image or image, however you want to pronounce it, is among one of the most initial things that we get rid of, because anything which is abstract in our yogic culture and in spirituality, anything which is abstract, or anything which cannot carry on forever, just like yourself, you always have and you always will. That should be enough to take care of the fear you carry within yourself, isn't it? No matter what happens, you would always exist. And I have, in numerous retreats, in numerous messages from the words of truth and wisdom, I have told you what you are. Only the last retreat, that was the day before yesterday, I told you the base, you are darkness, so don't be scared of. You see, you are the sense, the darkness, which has no smell, touch, taste, cannot be destroyed, has no physicality, nothing. Just a simple sense. So that is the only thing which carries on forever. That is the only thing which carries on eternity. Nothing else is. So in our yogic culture, we do not subscribe a lot of significance and a lot of importance to the things which would not carry on. In our yogic culture, we do not subscribe the significance to the thing which would not carry on. Only you would carry on. So just Pay attention to that. Do not uphold the image of anybody, no matter how immaculate they seem, no matter how much sense they are making to you, no matter how beautiful words of truth and wisdom they are speaking to you, no matter how much truth they are pouring outside. Do not look up to anybody, do not look down to anybody. It's very simple. Treat everybody as you treat yourself. Then it is very essential that you treat yourself right, because that is you are going to project around you. The way you would only treat yourself right when you take the right measures. However, life as it is happening, the manifestation of what you essentially are, life as an energy, is subject to variation. It's very simple. As Dr. Deepak Chopra, he's a brilliant fellow, and I have a lot of respect. I do not uphold his image, but I have a lot of respect for him, Dr. Deepak Chopra. Having respect for somebody and upholding their image are two separate things. Having respect you can have in present is still, you can still refrain to make an image of the person, because when you make an image, when you form an image of the person, you have certain expectations. Naturally, you have certain expectations from the person. And as Dr. Deepak Chopra says, life is a process. It's a verb. It's not a noun. If you look into it through the perspective of English grammar, yeah, it is a verb. It is subject to change every moment, every second. What you are witnessing right now as yes is not yes. By now, I'm sure you have that clarity to see that way. It's just a form with the boundary and heap of food and other factors. And we all have agreed to call it yes. It's the manifestation of life which is subject to change. Any moment I project, basically, you may be fascinated with my words of truth and wisdom. You may be fascinated how I carry myself or what you understand as personality. But if you spend some time in person with me, maybe a few days, you would realize I have no personality. Personality is when you get identified with the abstract traits, you understand? Personality is when you get identified with the constant traits, the persistent traits, if you understand. The constant traits and the persistent traits. I do not have no persistent trait. I do not have no constant trait. I myself is subject to variation, and I can vary any time. However, there is one thing which remains constant in me. If you have paid enough attention to my messages, or how, if you have paid enough attention to my messages, or how I conduct the process of life, there is absolute variation. There are no persistent traits in my personality. I change all the time. But there is something which remains constant in me, and that brings out the truth and wisdom out of me. You see, that's why the message or the gist of the message remains same. There is something within me, and that is the common denominator, which is also within you. Is just the difference between who has stepped on that common denominator and who has not. It's very simple. I have made myself available because it's the most significant thing I know, As far as my awareness is, that remains. The constant denominator is the same sense, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, the sense that we are, the darkness, the emptiness, the void, that remains same. And when I go into the state of meditation, I surrender this accumulation, and obviously I surrender my mind, otherwise it would be a chaos, wouldn't it? So I surrender my accumulation and I surrender my mind when I go in the state of meditation. There is no yes that time. There is no image that time. There is no consistency that time. There is no persistent that time. There is just the truth which is coming out of the source. It's just like a vessel, you see, through which is just like a vessel through which you manifest. You manifest the words that resides in source profoundly. You just bring it up. You see, that time I'm totally disconnected. If I am in meditation, that time I'm totally, or for the most part, I would say, I wouldn't go totally, but for the most part, I would say I'm disconnected from everything which is happening around me or on my body or the thoughts, because for the most part, there are no thoughts. This is no thought zone, you understand? This is, this is no thought zone. Here, thought is not playing no role. Every now and then when I have to make a point during my retreat and I'm delivering the words of truth and wisdom, I may use, I do not portray or project a false image on you. I admit what I do. I may use my intellect or my memory to bring a name up, to bring an event up, if you understand. To bring a name up and to bring an event up. But I remain thoughtless for the most part when I'm delivering the words of truth and wisdom as it is coming out from the bottom of the source. And the reason I can access all that, as a matter of fact, I'm not accessing anything. If you look a little profoundly and deeply, I have just made myself available for divinity and I have made myself available for sacred. Rest sacred does. You are no different from sacred. You are sacred. You are that divinity. Remember? I have made that point numerous times and I have brought clarity in your perception, yeah? More than once, more than twice, just about in every retreat, that you are sacred. Sacred is not something outside of you. You are not alienated to sacred. You are not alien to sacred, nor sacred is alien to you. You are sacred, you see. But the difference between who has the awareness and who does not, you don't feel like it, you do not act like it, you do not conduct the process like it, you do not speak like it because you are not aware of your own self. And whatever the level you are aware of, it brings you, whatever the level you are awareness of, that becomes your life. Whatever the level I am aware of, that becomes my life. I do not care about any personality. A lot of people say you have a dashing or outstanding personality, and comments and compliments every now and then I get from people. But I can promise you this carnation, as certain as you are hearing the sound of my words here, that I have no personality. I do not subscribe or get identified with anything around me. You see, and that's the maximum freedom, people. That's the maximum liberty. Become whatever you want to become any given moment, any given time. Yes, there is a common denominator which runs through me. That's why my message, one way or another, is to bring clarity, and that never deviates, that never dissipates, that is always and always there. Because there is the truth and there is the wisdom. That remains same. Anything which even I elaborate further or I expand further, the gist of the message remains same if you pay attention. I'm sure you do. And I congratulate you. No matter whatever the level of awareness you are on the right path. And I congratulate you. I congratulate you immensely. You see, when we hold an image of others in our awareness, naturally we have expectations. When others naturally do not fall on those expectations or meet those expectations, we become very disappointed. You wouldn't become disappointed if you have no expectations. Life is easy that way. Just put that in your mind, in the back of your head profoundly. You understand? You do not build any expectations from anything, and then you wouldn't be disappointed. The mirage of the castle, which is made out of glass, would not be shattered if the person is not meeting or falling on your expectations. It would only be shattered when you have expectations. You see, there are two type of things: having expectation with your own self. Yeah, set your goal and do your best, but no expectations. You understand the difference? Set your goal, do your best. If you do not meet or you do not achieve the goal, no worries. At least you tried. You see, your mind would say you are a loser. No, you are not a loser. The time you have invested to try something good, to try something to try something spiritual, what you essentially are, was not wasted even if you did not achieve the desired result. Do not be disappointed. Disappointment, guilt, sadness are the weapons of the devil. Are the weapons of the devil and its counterparts, demons. You understand? Do not put your focus in that. Do not worship me. I never tell you that I am the sacred. Even though I am, as I said not long ago, you are also sacred. But I do not claim that I am a prophet or I am a messenger. Yes, I sit and I speak the words of truth and wisdom. It comes out naturally. I do not, as I said only in last retreat, if you remember, that I get heavily compliments about that. That all they are fascinated basically with the fact that all the videos and the messages are amateur and totally natural. There are no retakes, there are no pre-planned words. Even though I close my eyes, I just talk, I still am in a state of meditation. Even if I am looking at a blank wall, I'm just telling you the words and truth and wisdom without having a thought in my mind. You see, that fascinates you because this is something which is very alien to you. Not many people are able to do that. And the reason I am able to do that, because I have raised my awareness willingly. When I say I have raised my awareness willingly, it's not that I am raising awareness. Awareness is always there. I have explained it through numerous metaphors. Awareness is always there, my loved ones, my seers, my followers. Awareness is always there. It's just the fog. It was the mist. You see, when there is mist, you cannot see, right? Because it's all foggy. When there is mist, it's all foggy. But I have cleared the mist. So the awareness, the sense of self-awareness or pure consciousness is shining in its best, just like the sun is shining today. And you see my face, and the sun is covering certain part of my body, and rest is still because sun is coming out, and it's a beautiful day here in South, in United States. In South, it's a beautiful day. Sun is coming out. There are no overcast. There are no clouds to stop the sun or the sunlight to reach it to me. I'm the sun god. Remember, I'm the sun god. I love sun. Wherever sun is, I go over there. You see. So, long story cut short, just like that sun, the shining awareness is always there, and it is shining with its all intensity and its all magnitude. The reason you cannot feel it because you have not cleared the fog or the mist. The moment you clear the fog or the mist, the moment you realize your potential. I wouldn't even say full potential, because when we realize our full potential, the body cannot sustain. Very simple. You see, when we realize our full potential, body cannot sustain. Because when we realize our full potential, there is no karma now. Karma is dissolved. When there is nothing to transcend, then there is no experience. Then the light is there only. The first manifestation of self awareness. Remember, we talked about that. Mm. So do not look up on anybody, do not look down upon anybody. Treat yourself good, treat yourself with care, treat yourself good, and treat yourself with love. You see, do not go against yourself, do not suppress yourself. You see, whatever you are feeling without human conditioning. Remember, what you are thinking you are feeling and what you are feeling are two separate things. When you are thinking, what you are feeling is influenced by human conditioning. Please understand that. When you are, are thinking, what you are feeling, it is influenced. It is very simple. Distinction is very simple. When you are thinking, what you are feeling, it is influenced by human conditioning. When you have no thought in what you are feeling, that is coming from sacred. That's what you essentially are. Do not suppress that what you feel. Do not go against yourself. Treat yourself with love. Treat yourself with care. Okay. Do not be abused by your own thoughts. If the thought is telling you something which is making you uncomfortable, restless, or duality, quit the thought. Get rid of it. It's not telling you anything new. And just keep meditating every day regularly. Try to sit in the sun while you are meditating. You see, just like I am, in I do not have to explain in a lot of words. Basically, sometimes silence teaches you a lot. Sometimes silence teaches you a lot. I do not have to elaborate how it is done. You have been with me since October. You have been with me since the October 1st, 2020. It is going to be 2 years. 2 years or 3 years? This October 1st is going to be 2 years now. And you have been with me for just about 2 years now, and you know how to sit in the meditative state, in the fundamental Kriya meditation. You see, sit in the sun sometimes, not sometimes. Try to sit in the sun as much as, but do not get sunburn. If sun is too potent, if then namaskaram, namaskaram. Thank you for saying good morning, namaskaram. Beautiful bird, beautiful tweeting, beautiful bird. So if the sun is too intense, put sunscreen. Do not get the sunburn, but try to sit in the sun while you are meditating. It would boost even energy. I give you tools time to time to bring or raise your energy. I give you tools time to time to bring your own energy up. The prana. Do not forget to chant the do not forget to chant the mantra. Do not forget to chant the mantra of Om during your meditation. And when you chant the mantra of Om, chant it like as you really mean it. When you sit in the sun, when you sit in the sun, when you sit in the sun in a super silent corner and you maintain a Kriya fundamental meditative state, just remember that you are in the sun. If you are depressed for any number of reasons, it would help you tremendously. And I can promise anything on that. When you chant the mantra of Om, just remember you chant the mantra of Om as you really mean it. You chant the mantra of Om as it is coming from the very core of you. Not like Om or what's your name, love. No, not like that. But like this. Chant it chant it in the way as you are perceiving sacred. If you understand, chant it in the way as you are perceiving sacred. Otherwise, sacred is perceiving you anyway, if you understand the depth of the statement. When you make an image or you try to project an image in others' eyes and others basically agree with that image, when you try to project an image in others' eyes and others agree with the image, then all your awareness, what you essentially are, all your focus goes to uphold that image. It takes a lot of energy to uphold something abstract. It takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of focus, and you always run the risk that you can be bust at any time. Then that gives birth to insecurity. Then your mind always restless. Who is thinking about me? I wonder what opinions they have about me. Am I doing right in the society? How is my progress? How am I seen in the society? Life is too short and too small to worry about these abstract things. Just become authentic and become good enough for yourself. When you achieve that, automatically everything would take care of itself. You don't really have to do anything. Mm. Om Shiva. Om Shiva Nama. Om Shiva. Om Shiva Nama. Om Shiva. Om Shanti. Peace be on all creation. No distinction. No discrimination. No me versus you. Just peace and love and unity for everything and everyone in creation. No matter who you are, no matter what color you carry, no matter what creed or gender you are, no matter what is your background or culture or any of those things that human have subscribed tremendous amount of energy. I defy all the abstract things. No matter who you are, I'm sending you love. No matter who you are, I'm sending you healing. No matter who you are, I'm sending you energy and protection. Just stay on the right path and keep doing the right thing. Life is easier and life is lighter without an image. You see, life is so easier, life is so lighter without an image. But you say, but if, you see, just that, but if can only create a lot of doubts in you. Nobody's talking about you even, but you are thinking your mind is restless. You know why? Because you have formed an image of yourself. The best image there is when there is no image, if you understand. I repeat, the best image there is when there is no image. When there is no image, there is freedom, there is liberty. Image or no image, you would exist, isn't it? Image or no image, you would exist still, isn't it? I mean, people complain every now and then to me, yes, this happened to me in the past, or yes, that happened to me in the past, or this has happened, the atrocity and all that. I'm not condemning or criticizing or judging that they are complaining. That's not the point I'm trying to make. But they tell me every now and then in the past they have gone through some atrocities and some miseries and all that. And I look at them and I said, you are still around, aren't you? That's what it's worth it. Basically, I look at them and I say, you are still around. You went through with all that, the miseries, the atrocities, the problems, the barriers, the bends, and all that, but you are still around. And that's what really matters in the end, that you are around. Well, you are still around complaining about your past, aren't you? So when you are still around, that's all it matters. That's all it worth it. It's simple. Something taught you something. If you were smart enough, if you were awake enough, you would get the message. With or without image, you still would exist. It's a given. I promise you that. If the image, if the false image or the image is abstract, image is false. It's a given. If the false image or image is destroyed, you would still exist, wouldn't you? And that's worth it, that you are existing. You are existing either way. Your existence does not depend on the image you carry. That's what I'm saying in easy words. Or at least that's how I live. Totally free and light. My heart is just like a feather. Heart is the seat where soul resides. Heart is the seat where Atman sits. Keep it light and keep it good. I truly hope you have learned something from the message. I truly do. Remember something. No matter who you are, I love you. Just keep meditating and keep taking the right measures.